Oh, it's gotta be around here somewhere. It's gotta be close. Is it here? No, that's not it. That's not it. Oh man, this is a huge problem. Where is it? Here it is. This is definitely a sign that we're back on Route 66. Yes, everybody, we are finally back at the Jackrabbit Trading Post. Geez, we were out here just a few months ago at the historic Jackrabbit Trading Post here in Joseph City, Arizona. The Jackrabbit Trading Post, which is actually over here across the street and not actually where the sign is, was famous for its bright and colorful signs dotting the old highway, telling people, you gotta come to the Jackrabbit, you gotta come to the Jackrabbit, from like really far away. And you get a little closer and a little closer, 5 miles ahead, 2 miles ahead, and finally, here it is. When we came here last time, I didn't know that the Jackrabbit Trading Post has actually been open out here since the 1940s. That's a long time. I mean, to look at it now, the building is fairly modern, but no. This sucker goes back a while. What is it, 70 years, 80 years nearly? Even though everything else in town has dried up, the Jackrabbit Trading Post is still here in operation in the shadow of the interstate, just off of old Route 66. And even though they still sell caps and mugs and jewelry inside and have one of the best fun pick photo ops on the old mother road, I'm riding a bunny. This humble piece of Route 66 history will probably always be best known for its sign. My favorite part of this place is their Route 66 room, packed with all kinds of weird artifacts. Looks like they've been doing a little work in here. I know I've already been here, but I needed to sign the guest book. I still really don't understand what these glass insulators are for or what they do, but they're very Route 66, so I need some. Gets me every time. All right, I got my glass insulators. This is cool. You know, I would have to say that 99% of my experience with Route 66 has been overwhelmingly positive. Ample parking day or night, people shouting howdy neighbor. The one and only negative experience that I've ever really had on Route 66 was sadly just a couple of weeks ago when I went as a bucket list item to stay in a certain wigwam in San Bernardino, California, and didn't really have that great of a time. I was actually yelled at and charged a crazy fee for filming at the wigwam, which was later refunded to me, which was a really nice gesture on their part, and which money I've used to come back out to Arizona and wash off my negative Route 66 experience with some more positive ones. I gotta tell you, it's been going pretty well so far. But I think if we're gonna undo that bad experience, there's one place we must go, and despite what this sign says, it isn't here. No. If we're gonna undo bad memories of a wigwam, we're gonna need to go a little farther along down Route 66 to more wigwams. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have used my refund from the WIGWAM Motel in San Bernardino to come all the way here to Holbrook, Arizona. To do what? To stay in another teepee. This is gonna be awesome. Oh, I am so unbelievably tired from driving across the state of Arizona. I am really looking forward to laying down in one of these teepees. Now, you may or may not remember that the last wigwam was not in that great of a neighborhood. This one's right on the street, and it already feels way nicer. The slogan here is, have you slept in a wigwam lately? Kind of weird, because actually I have slept in a wigwam lately. Nevertheless, I am strongly looking forward to sleeping in these Arizona wigwams pretty much right now. Now, you may remember the last video where I told you that the wigwam motels were invented way back in the 30s by a guy named Frank A. Redford. He built 5 of these locations, but this was not one of them. This is Wigwam Village number 6, which was built by a totally different guy. A man by the name of Chester Lewis built these wigwams in 1950 based on Frank Redford's original plan. But it wasn't a ripoff. What he did was he licensed the design of the wigwams, or the teepees. They're teepees, but they're called wigwams, from Frank Redford. And instead of paying him like royalties or a flat fee for the use of his ingenious style of motel, what Lewis did was put coin-operated radios in each one of these wigwams, and all of the nickels that would go into the radios would go to Frank Redford. But otherwise, the rest of the place was owned and operated by Chester Lewis. As noted on this huge sign, which is a copy of the letter from the National Register Coordinator, these wigwams are located on the National Register of Historic Places. And Wigwam Village number 6, or the Wigwam Motel here in Holbrook, is still run by the Lewis family. Dude, you can see right away how different this Wigwam Village is. For one thing, there are classic cars parked outside of all of the teepees. The office is much, much bigger, and so far nobody's screaming at me. Inside the office is a little museum of memorabilia from the Lewis family, but I'm gonna have to check that out tomorrow because I kind of got here a little bit late. And next door to the office is this weird smaller teepee that looks like it used to have a restroom inside. Maybe it was the restroom for the office. Weird. Okay, I've got my key here for Wigwam number 4. Let's see here. Where is Wigwam number 4? No, I don't see it yet. 10, 9, 8, there's 7 over there. Oh, it's the one my car's parked in front of. Oh, number 4. Oh, it was unlocked. Oh, now that's a wigwam. Are you kidding me? Look at this. First of all, I got double beds in this wigwam. You know, I know these wigwams are all built on the same plans, but this one feels, for whatever reason, maybe it's the 2 beds, so much bigger to me. And look at Southwestern themed blankets and Southwestern themed furniture. Look at curtains that look like they should be in some sort of Native American themed place. Dude, this is so cool in here. Look at the furniture. Very, very stick-like, very rustic. There's the old lamp, and I know it's old because look at that plug. That is some old school equipment there. I don't think I'm gonna be able to plug my laptop into that old 2-prong. This is so cool though. I got a little TP window, and there's my TV right there. There's my microphone, just ignore that really quick. And wow, look, someplace to do my makeup. Dude, the furnishings in here are ancient. I don't know if they would date all the way back to the 1950s, but if they do, that's awesome. This teepee, this wigwam here, is 65 years old. That's older than Disneyland. Look at the air conditioner. I'm almost afraid to sit in this chair because I feel like it's an... Did you hear it creak? I feel like it's an artifact and I don't want to break it. I got a little chest there, and we got a mirror. This is where I will be editing my videos tonight. It works. I don't know what that thing over there is, but I was expecting that to be a more modern air conditioner. I was not expecting this thing to work. That's so cool. Literally. Well, the beds feel nice and good and springy. That looks pretty awesome. Ooh, now time to see the bathroom. Oh, the rug is a good start. Oh, newer toilet. That's okay, that's okay. Tilted roof. Look at this bathroom. This is so cool. The other wigwam I stayed in San Bernardino had a window right here. No window in the bathroom of this wigwam, which honestly makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. But look at the shower, it's completely different. I think it is bigger in there. I think the room out there is a little bigger and the bathroom in the wigwam is a little smaller. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but either way, look at this cool shower. Have you ever showered in any kind of slanty, dodgy, tilty, funky shaped shower stall as this? This is the kind of stuff I love. I love this. Look at that old soap dish right there, the old tile. This is awesome. Now this was built in 1950. The Wigwam Motel that we stayed at last time in San Bernardino was actually built afterwards by the original guy, Frank Redford. He saw how well this Wigwam Village did, number 6, in Holbrook, Arizona on Route 66, and decided to get in on the action. So technically, even though this one wasn't built by the original Wigwam guy, this is the original Route 66 Wigwam Motel. And believe me, all I want to do now is sleep in it. I gotta tell you, this is a wonderful thing, because there's nothing quite like a wigwam at sunset. Look at it. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this cozy? This here, the Holbrook one, is definitely the real life cozy cone. Thanks to those rainstorms earlier today, there are many more mosquitoes than I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting some mosquitoes, not this many. This place is so epic. How epic is it? So epic in the front page of this book that I just bought today, literally the first thing you see in the book is the Wigwam Motel. I remember what I said the other day about the importance of reading books. Turns out it's true, even in my case, because I misspoke earlier. It wasn't nickels in those radios. Turns out it was dimes. And this here is a picture of Chester Lewis, the guy that built this place. There's Chester right there, and his wife Mary, in front of their Wigwam Motel. Doesn't appear to be any more coin-operated radios in this wigwam. Well, look at this picture. Look at right here at the desk. See that? Definitely the same original furniture. And if you look really close at this picture, you can see that the office building used to be a giant teepee with a little gas station out in front of it. And those mini teepees on either side must have been the restrooms, I guess, for the gas station. And I never knew this either. At one point, after the gas crisis and Route 66 got bypassed by the interstate here, the Wigwam Motel actually shut down, and it was Chester Lewis's son, John Lewis, and his siblings that reopened the Wigwam Motel in the early 2000s, I think, right around the time it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. So yeah, definitely pays to read books. Well, it is now very, very late at night. 2 in the morning, just wrapping up editing right now. I woke up at 8 o'clock yesterday, technically. Still going at 2 in the morning. There's a lot of filming and a lot of editing that you don't see. But I've got my shoes off. My hat is hung up. Time to get settled in to the wigwam for the night. Hotel. And sleep well. Oh, hey! Good morning, guys! Took me all night, but I'm finally done sleeping. Dude, it was so cool to sleep in a wigwam. Apparently with so much original 1950s furniture. And I forgot to mention this, but the old advertising always said that there were authentic Navajo blankets and Navajo rugs inside the wigwams, and that appears to be the case still today. Sadly, all good things must come to an end, and I think that's pretty much the end of my night in the wigwam. Yep, that pretty much wraps it up. Wait, there's something I forgot to do. The floor is lava. The floor is lava. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Oh, it burns. It burns. All right. That's it. Done. Man. It was my dream for years and years to stay in a teepee motel. I had a pretty rough experience with the one in San Bernardino. So I am so beyond stoked that I finally did it. I stayed in one of these roadside motels and nobody even screamed at me once. This place really is like the Cozy Cone Motel from Cars. Right as I'm standing here, there are housekeepers showing some visitors the inside of one of the wigwams. Not customers, mind you, people who just stopped on the side of the highway and like, can we see in one? Super awesome customer service, super rad themed motel. Roadside architecture, the romance of the open road. You're not gonna find many amenities at the Wigwam Motel here. Heck, you're not even gonna find a flat screen TV in these bad boys. But this was truly an unforgettable experience. Wigwam Motel number 6, the original Route 66 Teepee Motel. Having these old cars here is a really nice touch. It was nice coming out of here every once in a while and walking around last night and seeing these cars. Dude, it's another Studebaker Commander. I want one of these. I mean, technically the Hyundai there is probably a better car, but look at that bullet nose. I think your nose is neat. Beep. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend stopping by the Wigwam Motel. At least to take pictures, but if you can, definitely stay in these things. You can see these wigwams are actually laid out in kind of a square pattern here on the lot. That's a little different from the last wigwams I stayed in. See, I wanted to say that this was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but I just slept in a wigwam. Plus, I'm hoping that I'll get to do it again someday. This was pretty cool. Here's another one of those little side teepees. Once upon a time, the office here was a giant teepee that did double duty as a gas station. And actually, if you look closely at the office itself now, you can see that this office was once a gas station as well. See the awning right there? I didn't even notice that last night. This is where the gas pumps would have sat back in the day. Well, I screwed up because I got here too late really to check out the office, and now the office is closed until 3 p.m. and I gotta be moving on. We can peek in the window here so you guys can get an idea of how cool it looks inside. This is still a massive screw up on my part because there's a whole room full of old memorabilia and old photographs. Not to mention they have some pretty rad t-shirts in there. Dang it, I wanted one of those t-shirts. Well, that's okay. It gives me the perfect excuse to come back. Now, if anyone asks us if we've slept in a wigwam lately, we can say with confidence that we have. It has been so cool being at the Wigwam Motel, watching traffic go by on old Route 66, listening to the trains go by in the nighttime, checking out the Arizona Wigwam Motel, and of course, best of all, using the refund from my last Wigwam experience to experience this one. Took a couple of weeks and hundreds of miles and hundreds of dollars, but I finally had a good night's sleep in a teepee. Gosh, these things are cool. Man, look how tall they are. I wonder how hard it would be. I mean, not that I would try it or anything, but I wonder how hard it would be to teepee these wigwams, you know what I mean? Man, they're pretty tall. That'd have to be a pretty good throw. Look at the little light up there on top of the wigwams. Those things are so cool. What a cool thing that Chester Lewis, way back in the day, came up with the idea of getting the design for the wigwams and opening his own in his hometown of Holbrook, and that his family was able to restore the place, which is now on the National Register of Historic Places. Not only were they able to establish and open and then later restore their family business, they made a living making thousands of tourists and travelers happy. That is so cool. All right, guys, it's at this time that I have to mention that if you'd like to help keep the show on the road, you can donate $1 a month or more, who's stopping you, at patreon.com/JustinScar. Or you can get one of my radical t-shirts, livefastdiepoor.spreadshirt.com. Subscribe to this channel for some more adventures in the future. Go look for me on Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys later. We've finally done our duty. Go home and sleep well. It's impossible. Some days you just can't TP a wigwam.